Alright, so we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off in part 1. Mandibuzz deck draws a card. It's Pokemon Communication, which is actually not bad. We're going to use it, Pokemon Communication, put Stoutland back on top of our deck. And we're going to go look for Zora. He's at the third card from the bottom. Put him in our hand. Of course, you have to reveal it to your opponent, but since I'm playing myself, then I know what I got. You shuffle your deck afterwards. And go ahead and cut. Alright, we put Zora down and attach a Dark Energy to Zora. We'll go ahead and let Lillipup take the fall. So I'll end my turn there. Alright, Mew's turn. I'm going to go ahead and put Mime Jr. on my bench. See, man, there's really nothing I can do in my hand. We'll use Mew's ability. It says Mew can use the attacks of all the Pokemon in the Lost Zone. You still need the necessary energy to use each attack. So I do have one psychic energy attached, so I can use any of Crobat's moves. So we're going to go ahead and use Severe Poison, which will poison. Actually, we're going to use Skill Dive. Does 30 damage to choose one of your opponent's Pokemon. This attack does 30 damage to that Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistance for benched Pokemon. So we're going to start sniping the benched Pokemon. Just because he went to get Zora, in a typical game you would think of it as he went to get Zora, so obviously he must have Zoroark in his hand. So we're going to head snipe Zora off. Does 30, even though he has a resistance of -20, which would reduce the damage by 20. Crobat's attack says don't apply weakness and resistance for benched Pokemon. Since he's on the bench, you wouldn't. And that'll end Mew's turn. Mandibuzz draws. And we'll go ahead and evolve Zora into Zoroark. And have no energy, so we can't attach it to Lillipup to even retreat him. So it's Mew's deck then, or Mew's turn. We drew a Mew, so we'll go ahead and lay it down. We'll go ahead and attach a Psychic Energy. And just to show you something a little fun, we'll go ahead and retreat Mew. You have this thing down at the bottom typically called a retreat cost, and it would cost, like for instance, Lillipup has a retreat cost of 1 over here. Mew doesn't have a retreat cost. My Mew deck, not one Pokemon really has a retreat cost except for Ghastly. Lillipup has a retreat cost of 1 colorless, so it could be any type of energy. If I had a Psychic Energy attached to him, I could discard that to retreat him. Now if he had a retreat cost of 2 or 3 colorless, I would have to discard 3 energy attached to him to retreat him back. But like I said, Mew doesn't have a retreat cost, so I can pull up Mime Jr. I'm going to use Sleepy Lost. It says put the top card of your opponent's deck in the Lost Zone. Mime Jr. is now asleep. So that's Pokemon, so that's good. For Mew deck, not the Manda Ring deck. And Mime Jr.'s ability says as long as Mime Jr. is asleep, prevent all damage done to Mime Jr. by attacks. Anyway, So for a Pokemon that's asleep or paralyzed, I believe. Yeah. You roll a dice, and if heads, he wakes up. If tails, he's still asleep. So it is tails, so he's still asleep. And while he's asleep, prevent all damage done to him. So it's now Mandarin's deck's turn. What do you know? We draw a Herdier. We'll go ahead and evolve. Can't do anything, but it's still, higher HP, so it would require more attack to do, or more damage done to him to kill him. So anyway, between turns now, Mime Jr. to wake up. He's still asleep, and you can't retreat when they're paralyzed or asleep. See, this isn't good because I'm not running any Golbats or Zubats in my deck, so I can't play any of these Crobats in my hand. I wish I would get a Pokemon Communication, but we're actually going to try something. Pokemon Reversal. It is heads. So we're going to switch Herdier with Zoroark. Okay, between turns for Mime Jr. to wake up. He is still asleep, so prevent all damage. Draw a card, it's Volibee. And Zoroark is going to use Nasty Plot. Search your deck for a card and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck afterwards. So you search your deck for any card, which isn't good, but at the same time it's not bad. We're going to go get Absol. Okay, I'll go ahead and show you cutting the deck. And it goes in my hand. So now it's Muse. Still asleep, which isn't good. But we did get another Mew. Put an energy there. And I can't do anything, so now for Mime Jr. to wake up between turns, he is awake. Okay, Mandarin's deck, plus power. Put Absol down. Zoroark's going to use Nasty Plot again. It's going to go get a Darkness Energy. And we'll cut. Okay, so now it's Mew's decks. Alright, I do have a Ghastly in my hand though. Free retreat to pull out Mew again. We're going to use Severe Poison this time on him. Now, something that you might take note of is he has a resistance of 20 to Psychic, but he's not actually, neither of these cards are actually doing any damage. It's creating an effect of a poison, so therefore the resistance wouldn't come into play. Now, if Ghastly were to have an attack that would say, like, does 10 damage, then that resistance would come into play. But if it places, or if it's due to an effect, the resistance doesn't come into effect. So between turns, Zoroark will get 4 damage counters instead of 1 for being poisoned, which is a good thing about having Crobat attack of Severe Poison. So we'll pick this up next time, and Zoroark will add his 4 damage on.